The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supplies sub-distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons.
Hello and welcome back to the West Ham Massive. Thank you for joining me. As always, guys, please don't forget to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment on it, share it, all those good things and all these things that you can do to help grow this channel from where it finds itself now to hopefully where it will find itself in the future. All these things that you can do are free. They are at no cost to you. We don't get any of your bank details. We won't spam you. Just do all of those things. You'll help us out. Thanks very much. So, what we're here to discuss today, obviously, we've had a lot of excitement that we've had in the last few days with a lot of signings that we've made. 3 signings in the last couple of days as the time as I record this. And probably by the time this goes out, maybe there'll be another signing. Who knows? And we'll deal with that when it comes. But one of the things that is going to be quite key for us in the upcoming season is going to be who takes the captain's armband. Now, Kurt Zouma had the armband last season, and I think a lot of people thought at the time that it was a little bit of I certainly did. I thought it was a bit of an odd choice. A guy who had knees that at that stage in time was quite questionable and have only deteriorated since then, if I'm being completely honest. And obviously, there's been a change of the manager. So the manager that obviously gave Kurt Zouma the armband is a different person. And I think that it's very likely now that having seen Kurt Zouma up close and personal on a football pitch, he's probably worked out Lopetegui that this guy is just not up to the standard required anymore. I mean, the guy can barely cross the fucking road, if we're being completely honest about it. So I think it's very likely that not only will Kurt Zouma have the armband taken off of him, he'll probably be jettisoned from the club fairly soon. Whether he'll go to Saudi or not, who knows? But that creates an opportunity for someone within the squad. Now, so the question then becomes, who's going to be the captain after Kurt Zouma? Now, I think a lot of people have put 2 and 2 together, and they might be correct. I mean, obviously, this is all hypothesis and speculation. And until a captain is actually named by the manager, we're not actually going to know for sure. However, there's been a few little whispers of late of who's going to get the captaincy. Now, one name that sprung out straight out of the gate was obviously Max Kilman. Now, Max Kilman was with Lopetegui when he was manager at Wolves. Kilman was the captain at Wolves last season. So you can probably sort of see already why that hypothesis would come to pass. So a lot of people have thought that Kilman would be the guy that is going to be given the leadership role on the pitch and represent the guy in the dugout. Obviously, other candidates have sort of like been bandied around as well. Likes of James Ward-Prowse, obviously he has captaincy experience in his time at Southampton, and Edson Alvarez being another. They're the guys that were thought as the front runner, but another guy who was kind of mentioned, but it was a little bit more of a whisper rather than being bellowed out loud from the rooftops, was Jared Bowen. Now, Jared Bowen obviously is will always have a place in West Ham folklore for what he did that night in Prague, a matter of just over a year ago, winning us our first trophy in 43 years in the dying embers of the match in Prague. And as I say, he has been mentioned, but I don't think ahead of those three that were mentioned, certainly two of those three, I think most people thought he was probably the guy that was sort of like a little bit behind. But there's been reports in the last sort of like couple of hours, as I recalled this, that it would appear that the chosen one in terms of getting the armband is believed to be Jarrod Bowen himself. Now, he's been with the club for just a little over 4 years. He's not an East End boy. I mean, he's not from Essex. He's not from London. He's not from anywhere near this particular part of the world. But he's come in. He's obviously from Leominster and out in the sticks, sort of carrot cruncher land, if you will. And he's obviously come into the club 4 and a bit years now. He's played over 200 games, 202 as I recalled this in all competitions in competitive football. So he will, even though he's not an East Ender of birth, from sort of like from his past years, he's someone that knows the club inside out now. He will do. Obviously, also he's married into a West Ham supporting family. I say married. I'm not even too sure if they're actually ring on finger. I know they've got a pair of kids together, but the point is that he's got West Ham in his blood now. He wasn't a West Ham fan sort of growing up, but now he's obviously he's been steeped in the traditions of the club. He knows the club inside out. The fans love him. We love him. Vice versa. And as the more I think about it, the more I think, actually, do you know what? I actually think that might not be a bad move. Now, he'll be stepping into a pretty a line of some legends, not just of the club, but of football, English and world football, if you go right back. He will be following the likes of, obviously, Kurt Zouma. I wouldn't say he's a legend. Certainly not a legend at Battersea Cats and Dogs Home, but there you go. But he also will be following in the footsteps of Declan Rice. Say what you want. I know some people, they hear his name and they get all sort of, bent out of shape. But look, he was obviously the guy that lifted the trophy in Prague the night that Bowen scored the winning goal. Obviously, following on from that, Mark Noble, Billy Bonds, and obviously the ultimate in West Ham captains down the years, the guy that captained an FA Cup winning team, a European Cup Winners' Cup winning team, and a World Cup winning team in 3 consecutive seasons. Obviously, the late, great Bobby Moore. So he'll be stepping into, he's got some big boots to fill. He's got a lot of a big legacy to uphold. But I think he can do it. I think he can do it. I think he's someone that, when you choose a captain, you need to obviously get someone that you're guaranteed as best as you can do that they're going to be on the pitch more often than not. You don't want someone that's got a bit of a checkered injury record. You don't want someone that's sort of getting sent off and suspended all the time. Jarrod Bowen doesn't do that, but I think he will instantly command the respect of his teammates. He will obviously have the respect of the fans. That's a given. And obviously he knows the club inside out. As I say, he's been with the club long enough. He's worked his way through. He's seen good times and bad. He obviously came in when we was in the middle of a relegation battle. He's obviously scored the goal in Prague. And as I say, he's in with the Dyer family, his other half, obviously Danny Dyer, the actor. So he will be someone that is fully equipped, fully versed, knows the terrain, knows what's expected of him. I think he will be an excellent choice as captain. I think that, yes, I'm not saying that the other candidates in terms of Max Kilman and Edson Alvarez principally, I think that James Ward-Prowse, I'm not even convinced he's going to be here for too much longer. I think that if there's a bid that comes in from Southampton, I think is probably the one that I'm thinking of, then it may well be that he's shipped off. But certainly in terms of Alvarez and Kilman, it may well still be that actually Bowen isn't going to be the captain and one of those two, or maybe another person, maybe someone's going to come out of the woodwork and stake a claim for it. But I think it's probably the smart one is it's on those three guys. It's probably going to be one of those that are going to be taking it. But the news coming out, the rumours coming out, I should say, maybe not news, but rumours, whispers, white smoke, whatever, coming out of Rush Green, coming out of London Stadium is that it would appear that the favoured choice, the front runner, the heir apparent, would appear to be Jarrod Bowen. And from my point of view, I think it's a good choice. You guys might disagree, and that's why you've got a comment section below. So tell me, what do you think? Jarrod Bowen, if he becomes the next captain of West Ham United, is that a good play or not on the part of Jolen Lopetegui? And if it's not, what are your reasons for it? Who do you think's a better choice? If you're on side with it, again, what do you think that Jarrod Bowen's going to bring to the table that the other candidates simply cannot? Let us know. You've got a comment section below. And guys, as I always say, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share this stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell icon for alerts and new content. These things are all free to do. As I say, they absolutely will not cost you a penny, and you'll be helping the channel out tremendously. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this matter. And once again, please don't forget to give your support to the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity. We will see you next time. Take care. Come on, you Irons.
The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a Newham food bank in Beckton, who supplies sub-distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons.